cheers to you on making it to the last day of the music licensing challenge. You definitely deserve a break, and so do I. So here's to all the hard work you put in. So today, in the last day of the challenge, what we're going to do is we're going to export the song we made and also its edits, and then we're going to upload it to Pond5 and tag it. And so you can see how this entire process works from the very beginning in the day one when you learned what stock music is and where to upload it, to day 2 where you learned how to write it, day 3 how to produce it, day 4 how to mix and master it. Now you're getting it out there. I want to congratulate you so much on doing this. These videos will be available for you to refer to later. Also, though, I do want you to know that the course bundle discount is going to be expiring at midnight tonight. So there's a lot of additional value inside that course, way more on mastering, way more on mixing, way more on songwriting, all sorts of tips for intros and outros, much more in depth on how to do this manageably, how to save time, how to do it more efficiently, how to price your songs, how to do everything, how to navigate Pond5 like a pro. But regardless of whether or not you want to take advantage of that incredible sale, up to $300 off, maybe even more, depending on which package you go with, I hope you've enjoyed the journey so far, and I hope you will still trust me in the future to help you with your music journey, and I hope you accomplish whatever goal it was that you set out at the beginning. All right, so now let's go to export this. So I've just made a few minor tweaks since last we heard it, rebalanced a little bit, but nothing major. And I have also just tweaked the automation of volume a little bit, but again, nothing major. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the entire song, so that's the area that is selected, and hit Control B, and we're going to bounce it. I like to do Wave 2448. It's pretty much the highest quality that's usable. You don't need to go that high of a resolution on Pond5, but I figure that I'm future-proofing my songs by doing it this way. It takes up a little more space, but if in the future certain other sites require 48, 24, I'll have those files and I won't have to go rebounce and worry about like missing plugins or whatever it is. So I'm going to hit OK. And then we'll go to, I like to do everything in Dropbox, so I have a backup of it. And so we need to make a folder for it. That's another thing I like to do, because that way you can have all of your backups and everything easily found. So we'll call this boom. And now we'll call the first track just Business Park. And I like to put the BPM in the title just so I have a future reference of it, but I will delete that when I upload it, but this will just give me some knowledge of what BPM it was. And then I'll also add the full name. So I like to do a full name, or a colorful name, and then a descriptive name in parentheses. So Upbeat Corporate Background Music, 122 BPM. And that's what we'll call it. And we'll bounce it. Now, from here, I'm going to skip a lot of the steps. But what I'm going to say, because I'm going to be bouncing it, but what I'm going to say is you're going to want to bounce multiple versions of your song. This is a big part of where you make your money, is on these alternate edits. And so we'll do one without the bass, or without the drums. We'll do one that's just drum and bass. And then we'll do 15 and 30-second versions. We'll do a loop, and we'll do the ending. But you're not going to see me do any of that because I don't want you to waste time just watching it. You'll see me do the 15-second one just so you can see how that's done. But I'm not going to waste your time with all this bouncing. The other thing is that for the alternate mixes, sometimes I just hit mute. That's another way of doing it if you don't want the drums in. But you have to be careful with your bussing, because on certain times you might have an instrument set to be pre-fader bust, in which case even if you hit mute, it'll still appear in the bus sends. So just don't make that mistake. Just be sure to double check everything. And now we deserve a beer. Okay, so there's that. Now I'll show you how I do the 15-second, and this will apply to everything else. I just want to look, so now I've got the full time. And how long is the song with its ending? And a little bit of a decay. So we'll say 210. So 210 minus 30 is 140. So now we go to 140 right here. And so let's see exactly how that would sound to start the song here at 140 for the 30-second. So that's a bit of an upbeat. So let's see if what time this is. This here is still 140, and it's easiest to look at the drums if you can and try and capture one of the drum transients. Let's compare it to here. Alright, so I think this is probably the best. And you just want to make sure that there's nothing. Zoom in. It seems like everything pretty much hits a transient here, so you don't need to mute anything. But sometimes if transient isn't there, you might want to fade in the track at that point. But this song just works out well that way. Sometimes you have to do more advanced editing, but this will work for me. So, all right, this is the last you'll see of me for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna bounce everything, and then we'll be back. Okay, we're back, and now I just want to talk about one more important note, a very, very important note about what you need to do before you upload, and that is trim any silence off the back of your files, or at the beginning of your files. So there's a couple of ways you can bounce. One of them is you just make sure you've got extra space at the end, or with Logic and other DAWs, there's an option to include the audio tail, which will automatically, the DAW will just add space until it doesn't detect noise anymore. And often I like to use the detect audio tail, but if you're bouncing a loop, for example, you cannot have automatically include audio tail on, or otherwise the end of the loop will not be clean. So just be aware of that. Now let's go to the actual files. If you've got another DAW, you can clean these up in them. If you're on a Mac, this is far and away the easiest way that I know of. You just select it, you go trim, and then boom, slice it off. You can see exactly what it looks like. Replace, bada boom, on to the next one. And this will also tell you exactly how long it is. So that's 30 seconds there. You can play it if you need it. So we'll skip ahead from here, but rest assured that I'm trimming all of these. Okay, so now what we're going to do is upload the files to Pond5. So I've gone and logged in, and then you click on your little profile image, hit Uploads, and hit Upload New File. And then you can just drag everything onto this little uploader here. You wait some time for it to upload. And then it's going to take it a little while to process and convert it. So I'm going to come back again in a few more minutes. We're going to pause it right here. I'll jump back in once it's actually finished uploading it and converting it. And then we'll talk about tagging. Okay, so now our files have been uploaded and processed. To figure out if they're ready, you can look at the processing. If there's anything that shows up under this, You still need to wait, but if you click the Needs to Edit tab and you see your songs, then you're ready to go. So the fastest way to do this is to click on this box to select all of them and click on Batch Edit Music and then Execute. And this will bring you to a page that lets you batch edit. So music is what it is. Cleared for sampling. No, you don't want other people to sample your songs. The title, it's just going to take it directly from what you've already uploaded. Description. So you want this to be compelling to a reader. So something like that. This description section is meant for humans more than it is for machines. The tagging section is where you're more interested in keywords. Date created, location, city, location, country, not important. Recorded with, not important. Seamless looping, you'll say no aside from your track that is a loop. Human voice, no. What's the tempo? Medium. Composer is me. And there is no publisher, but I would act as the publisher when it's recorded in BMI. For the price, I like to sell things at $40, and so you have to select manual pricing. No, I don't want to make it available for Pond5 to give away for free. They can pay me if they want to give it away. And so now we're coming to the keywords section. And what I recommend doing is a combination of this stuff here and your own keywords. So the first things we need to start with are the main ones. And it will give you suggestions. And you're allowed to have up to 50 keywords, so use them all. And if you signed up for the actual challenge, you will have gotten an email with my best practices for keywords. So I'm not really going to go deep into that right now. You should just check that out. All right, now that's at least a place to start. Now let's see. Click on these ones that are appropriate. And if it repeats, it's not really a big deal. It will not let you do duplicates. So. And then you can select some of the instruments that are featured, because sometimes people will search by instrument. Sometimes you can choose. It seems to not be letting me do that right now, so we'll just do you don't need to do every instrument, but sometimes they're important. Modern, pop, background, music, underscore, presentation. Do we have confident already? We will go with repetitive. All right, and we'll save the rest for the individual tracks if there's anything we want to add, and then you'll add it to your any collections that you have. I don't have a corporate track collection, but if you made a lot of corporate music, you would want to add that there. But I could put it in happy music, for example, and now we'll hit save changes, and it will apply this to all of the tracks that we have uploaded. And now we can go to the individual, we can hit refresh just to get the most recent information here. You'll see they're all 40. I'll have the descriptions. Now we can edit the individual ones. And so we don't need 122 BPM here. We can just add a few more, like full length. And that's all we'll add to this one. I mean, you could go much further. Go to next item, save and submit for review. So now this one has been submitted. The amount of time it takes for a song to be reviewed really depends. I've seen it as fast as 1 day, but sometimes it takes up to a week. It just depends. Sometimes it takes even longer. But don't worry, they'll let you know at some point. That's not really a transition, but whatever. In case people are searching for these terms. Let's delete electric guitar, acoustic guitar, because those are not featured on this. It's just drums and bass. Alt mix, I don't know if that's at all important, but hey. Delete drums and say no drums. That's for the ending. So here we want to get rid of bells and piano. And this one is a loop, so we do want to say seamless looping. And we'll do loop, loopable audio looping. I think that's the last of it, but let's see. There you have it. So that is the end of the 5-day course. You now know how to do everything you need to do to launch your music licensing career. Now, obviously, there's a lot more content, and it goes a lot deeper in the courses, and especially at the Double Your Licensing Masterclass and everywhere else. But I think this really should give you at least an overview. And, you know, if you can't afford it, even with the hyper discounted rate, this should be enough to get you started. But if you're really serious about this, I think you need to get the courses because they really walk you through this much faster, or with much more detail and much more strategy and a lot more tactics. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for your support. Bye-bye.